Hey, today we're talking about a ghost story.
Ooh.
Yeah, spooky. And this was actually an email that came into the TV list. And in the email, toward the end, the person wrote, all I will say to you is, if ever you were to witness a ghost, your science would go straight out the window. You wouldn't assume it was your mind or eyes playing tricks on you. You would humble yourself to admit that just because science can't comment on the issue, you can't deny what you saw. And that's all in caps, and you wouldn't be hosting the show that you do.
First of all, you can be an atheist and not believe in ghosts. I mean, and believe in ghosts.
Right.
I mean, we just don't believe in God. I don't believe in ghosts. You don't believe in ghosts.
Right.
But that doesn't mean that would make there be a God out there. It
Correct.
just means there would be some paranormal stuff that we didn't know about before.
Correct. And I linked her to a study called Cognitive Behavioral Therapy of Psychosis, an Overview, and 3 case studies. And I quoted from that study.
That sounds way more technical than that person is prepared to read.
Well, let me tell you why I did that. Specifically, I did that because one of the things she wrote also in her email was to ask Matt, something I'm intrigued by, Mr. Dillahunty, just what qualifications do you hold? So since this is a person who is impressed by qualifications, I went ahead and found a research study for her. And I put this is a quote from the study. As a behavioral experiment, and this is when it says she, when it refers to she in this paragraph, it's talking about a psychotic patient. Mm-hmm. As a behavioral experiment, she was also asked to record the voices she heard, and these are voices in her head, with a tape recorder. She recorded nothing and started to realize that the voices she heard did not really exist. And then in parentheses it says, collaborative empiricism with emphasis on examination of objective evidence. And what I wrote was, in terms anyone can understand, she was able to compare what she heard to a more objective measure and recognize that her perceptions did not align with what is commonly regarded as reality. I do not mean to mock the mentally ill, but when a confirmed nutcase can recognize that if what I hear and see is not measurable by devices known to record what is heard and seen, the experience is most likely all in my head, I wouldn't dare to presume that sane individuals, and I think Matt is more sane than a diagnosed psychotic no matter how strongly you disagree with his ideology, would be incapable of the same level of reasoning capacity.
You know, when they actually try to record ghost voices, you get things like, I don't know if you've ever seen, I guess it's the TV show Ghost Hunters.
Yeah, it's very funny.
But they like record background static in the room and then they speed it up or slow it down until they hear things that sound like syllables.
Right.
And then they make up what they think it sounds like and then they play it with subtitles. So it'll be like...
And we're going to talk a little bit about bias in research if we get to it. So when the person wrote back to me, she wrote back and she gave me some more information about her experience with ghosts. Apparently she had a ghost experience. And she says, when I was, at a guess, 7 or 8 years old, I saw a ghost in the home of my parents' friend's house. Well, my first note there is that we're dealing with a 7 or 8-year-old. She says, I was with my other little friend who also saw it at the same time. Okay, so she's in a strange house and there are 2 little children.